but want to read this tweet courtesy of ESPN NFL insider Field Yates. And this, we do a lot of award talk on the show, and this is a change in how voting is done for NFL Most Valuable Player. This is per Field Yates. A significant change in the way the NFL's MVP is voted upon. Voters will now cast a ballot and rank their top 5 picks for MVP. Previously, it was just one player per voter with 50 votes in total. So it's basically like the baseball. I don't know if baseball does 5 or if it's 3. I'm not like educated on that, Ken, but it feels like this is the way like other sports will generally do it, with more than one candidate voted on, 5 in this instance. How does this change, if at all, the way that you want to handicap and think about betting NFL MVP?
Well, you and I were talking about this in the break. So your first thought is just like, you're trying to figure out, all right, like who stands to gain more and who will stand to lose more by basically, I think this is like ranked choice, right? Which is what people talk about for political voting all the time. So it's sort of like a NBA Most Valuable Player. It's like first, second, and third, like, how many first place votes, but then there's like total points for everything. So I think you were brought up a great example. And what this speaks to is probably the number one way that the voting will be different is it hurts players that are particularly polarizing, right? It hurts players who maybe have a strong case to be number one, but they are also more likely to be either off the ballot or 5th or something like that. So let's use this year as an example. You couldn't find a less polarizing candidate than Patrick Mahomes. Right? Like everyone who votes for MVP will have him like first, second, or third in some order, probably. A lot of people will have him first, would be my guess, but he will be like someone who it is not like there's a lot of holes to poke in his case to be MVP right now. It all makes a ton of sense. That's why one of the reasons why he's the betting favorite, but just like bear with me here. Tua would seem like someone who would suffer more from a system like this, because while you will have voters, like let's say Tua goes undefeated as a starting quarterback in games, whatever, that convoluted, like in games he finished, he never lost basically. Let's say, or they lose once.
Yes, games where he is not concussed.
Games where we're not all like completely like mortified by what we're seeing on a football field. So let's say they're like a group of voters of this 50 who are like, buy that. Like, so some of them are going to vote for him first, and Mahomes gets some votes, and Josh Allen gets some votes, and Jalen Hurts gets some votes. And, in the old system, maybe there's a way Tua wins because you only need like some block of the voters to buy this like kind of weird narrative that this guy's never lost. Okay, well, in this system, Tua's going to get a lot of like not even listed, like a lot of 5ths, a lot of like not even going to put him on the ballot because he missed starts. Like a lot of voters are going to do that. That really hurts his candidacy. He would be the most obvious example when we were kind of going through this in the break. He was the one that stood out to me the most. Like Jalen Hurts is an interesting one because like his stats won't be as good. But I think there are enough people that like if they have a great record, he'll still hold up pretty well, I think, in a top 5 kind of situation. To me, like Tua is the guy who like really actually like by far to me, this is the person who suffers a lot as well, because it's an unconventional narrative, or it's an unconventional case for a candidate. And if something is unconventional, that means that some of these voters, and again, the voters it's the AP Most Valuable Player Award, but it's writers, it's broadcasters, it's like executives. It's like a weird group of voters. A lot of them kind of like just kind of casual football fans, to be honest. And if something is unconventional, like the case for Tua,
can I just add some?
I have like one sentence left here. If something is unconventional, then this group of voters will probably have some people who will be like dismissive of it altogether and like not put him on the ballot. And that would be different than if everyone was just voting a first place person.
Like the color I wanted to add to this is like, I don't think people, and how could people understand it? Because people are like not like privy to this sort of thing. I think if you ask like the average person, like, hey, like who votes for NFL awards, you'd probably be like, yeah, a bunch of sports writers, like every other sport has. It's different. I know some of the people who have votes for NFL MVP. I spent a decade literally working for NFL radio and the NFL media. I think people would be surprised by, and maybe not like in a good way necessarily. I'm not saying that people are uneducated or that it's bad, just that it's like not what you think probably. So I think it kind of lends maybe a little bit more volatility to the proceedings here. Now, to Ken's point, probably helps Patrick Mahomes, maybe hurts other players.